Derek Lunsford, the only man in history to win both the Arnold Classic event and the Mr. Olympia event in 1 year and still be named Derek. Of course, Brandon Curry also, and Ronnie the King Coleman. Correct me if I'm wrong, or were they the only other two? Somebody else might have did it. But either way, folks, this man, he is a great bodybuilder. He sure takes a lot of heat from the fans. And Derek, the guy on top, always takes most of the heat. So where do you want to be? On top getting the heat, or third or fourth with no heat? Either way, I stayed away from this comparison for the longest time because a lot of the pictures don't jive. They don't match up. The angles, things of that nature. But this is a fan request. We're going to do our best. First and foremost, everybody and their uncle will cry that the Arnold Classic version was way better. Do I agree? Not right away, I don't. Look at the arms. The arms are smaller and softer. Everybody praises this Arnold Classic version like it was the second coming, for goodness sakes, no pun intended, for Derek Lunsford. But look at his arms. They're even worse. He took more heat from winning the Olympia, with big soggy arms, everybody says, and that's not me saying that, Derek. I think you're the tops. He just doesn't have the best arm development. Huge arms, nonetheless, just soft. But do you not agree with me, folks? It looks like he's, I don't know, 10 pounds bigger at the Olympia version, or with his Olympia version. Could he be much more conditioned from behind? I don't see a whole lot more condition from the front double. Maybe the midsection might be slightly tighter at the Arnold, but I don't know. Now, the front lat spread, unfortunately, this is a different picture, a different type of picture. It's pan back for the Arnold, and for those of you who have big screen TVs, you guys can see it's not the best, not the clearest shot, but I do believe in this instance you can see an edge in the midsection for the Arnold Classic. And look at the wheels. I ultimately think his legs are a little bit thicker at the Olympia, but during the Arnold Classic event, looks like he has more cuts, more finery details. Is that even a word? Finery? One thing's for sure, and I wasn't gonna do this. It's not nice to be mean to people. But Derek, he's a millionaire, he's comfortable, nice house, family, loved ones, things of that nature, so. And I think he can take a joke, ultimately. Maybe. Well, I hope he can, Derek. But look, he's got a big fat head at the Olympia. You see that? His head looks like a big bowling ball. Isn't it? In comparison? So he really had a sunk-in face, his cheeks. He's got a big triple chin. He's got a pie under each chin, too. I heard that somewhere else. I didn't invent that. The pie under each chin. Somebody else thought of that. So I'd give them credit, but I don't remember who it was. Go to the side, for goodness sakes. Now this is an eye-opener. Looks like he's much more jacked up. Look at his chest. Veins going through that baby. Of course, he did tear his pec. Just leads me to believe that he was training like a man, working on his chest. You know, there's a fine line between max growth and tearing it off. And he does have a bigger, more jacked up upper body. I would even go so far as to say his midsection, his obliques, look a little better. He is twisting more. He's holding his hands up higher for the Mr. Olympia and holding them way down low for the Arnold Classic. But that's not my final say on this. Look at the lower half, folks. It seems to me that Derek Lunsford, he looks soft in comparison. There's no separation at all. You know how much separation I see there in the glutes? Zero. Whole bunch at the Arnold. Now go to the side tricep. Ooh, this matchup is fixin' to be a good un. This is a gooder. Look at the luxuriousness. Even the midsection looks way better at the Arnold Classic than it does at the Olympia. So all of you folks at home sitting there thinking, I told Mark's Max Muscle right from day one that he was better at the Arnold. Yes, yous were all right. Of course he was better. Look at that, though. Did you really think he was that much better? Luxuriousness, plus separation in the wheels. Good angle, though, I will admit. So, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. Like that band. Here's the back. There's a band, the nitty-gritty dirt band. Is it dirt? Or Dirk, like Dirk Diggler. Okay. We can see that his back is bigger. It looks puffier. You know what I mean? Not to say that he has a soft back, but his back does look slightly harder, grainier at the Arnold. Hard to say, though, really, with the different lighting, things of that nature. But one thing I will say, I think he's more peeled. He's more shredded. He looks like he's so dry, he's like a popcorn fart at the Arnold Classic. And you can clearly see, I think I was right about the wheel size. You see that? His legs look bigger. Either that or he's bending his knees more. I think he just has bigger legs at the Olympia. He was sucked down a little bit more. He was drier, sharper, and ultimately a better version, folks. Here is the rear double bi, and yeah, same thing here. That's why most people said, he was clearly ahead of Samson Dauda at the Arnold Classic. At the Olympia, well, yeah, Samson was even worse there. At least he was big. You guys hear? Samson Dauda, he's going to shoot up to 352 pounds. He has the exact number picked out, I guess. I heard that on who is the best bodybuilder over there at Instagram. Samson, so 352 pound on stage. Yeah. I'm just joking. He'd be like 300 on stage, maybe. That could beat this little ball of muscle. But here is the abs and thigh, folks. We have clearly came to the result that he was better at the Arnold Classic. And his face, it was more round, like a plush chubby. Is that a thing? I can't call him a chubby baby. That's Mike Israetel. Those are exclusive to Mike Israetel videos. But having said that, I honestly think he did improve a little bit. His lats. Of course, somebody's going to say, oh, they're all pumped up with slapped on clay. Which I don't know. If you don't know, then I guess you don't really know. Wheels are more cut, the Arnold. Oh, and here is the final say on it, folks. He does have bigger quads. So perhaps he worked on those quads, worked on his chest. You can see his chest is a little bit more filled out. Abs, more separation in the abs, but he has more of an outsy. Sometimes when you stick your gut out, like Nasser Al-Sonbody used to do, there's a blast from the past. Good old Nasser. But he could go through some hamburgers. But my point is, before I get sidetracked by burger meat, he used to stick his gut out, and he had a good separation in the midsection. He's kind of sucking it in at the Arnold, and maybe not as much. It looks good, though. Good finish. It is ultimately Derek Lunsford at his finest. So there is a couple of bodybuilders. Derek, I believe Hattie Shupin, have their very best version at the Arnold Classic. Some people out there, not me, but some people out there would say Ronnie Coleman, 2001, was his finest version. I don't know. A bit of a stretch. Anyway, thank you guys very much for the request. It was a dandy. And as of the making of this video, the Mark's Max Muscle Invitational will be happening tomorrow. So if you've ever wanted to support my channel, go check that competition out and hit thumbs up on the video, comment, all that nice stuff. Have a good one.